Hello, it's April from April's Home, and today I'm here to share with you a cookie recipe. I'm making this cookie recipe today for a church potluck. We're having a Thanksgiving themed church potluck, so I thought I'd make one of the first of my holiday cookies this season. I'm making an oatmeal white chocolate cranberry cookie. So for this recipe, I'll give you exact measurements as I mix everything together, and I will include the recipe in the description box below. But you will need oats, flour, sugar, brown sugar, a bag of white chocolate chips here. This is the Nestle Toll House brand, and this is a 12-ounce bag, about 2 cups. You will need a cup of dried cranberries. I like the craisins. You'll need 1 cup of butter, and I will be softening this in the microwave. You'll need some cinnamon, salt, vanilla, and baking soda, and 2 eggs, which I'll get out here in just a minute. I've got my electric mixer ready, as well as a big mixing bowl. I'm going to go ahead and set these ingredients to the side and get out my mixing bowl here, and we'll start mixing together the ingredients. Okay, first I'll be adding my sugars to the bowl here. I'm going to go ahead and add 3/4 cup of brown sugar and 3/4 cup of regular sugar. I like to make sure that my brown sugar is packed into the cup here. That's a 1/4 cup, so I need 3 of these. It looks like it's nearly time to refill my brown sugar bin, but we've got 3/4 cup out there, and then 3/4 cup of regular sugar here. And I've melted my 2 sticks of butter in the microwave. Just going to put those in. That's 1 cup of butter. And I'm going to go ahead and blend this together a bit with my mixer before I add my eggs. This will help cool down the butter a little bit so it doesn't affect the eggs. Okay, that's not mixed all the way, of course, but it's mixed enough to add my eggs. And we'll go ahead and add in our teaspoon of vanilla extract. I just usually use the cap. It seems to be close enough to a teaspoon. Now I'm going to mix this together until it's nice and blended, all the sugars and butter and eggs all blended together. You can see it's a nice light tan color. And that is nice and mixed. And now for our dry ingredients. You can mix the dry ingredients in a separate bowl if you like, but I like to just mix it right into this. I start with a nice pile base of flour, and then I add the rest of my dry ingredients. I use a little fork to incorporate it into the flour, and then I mix it all together. So we'll go ahead and add our dry ingredients now. And I also forgot to mention that my oven is preheated to 350 degrees Fahrenheit, and I've lined a baking sheet with parchment paper. We're going to go ahead and add 1.5 cups of flour, and just right here in the center on the top, our teaspoon of baking soda, just right there on the top, a 1/2 teaspoon of salt, just going to spread it all over the top of the flour, and then a teaspoon of cinnamon. Again, I'm just going to sprinkle that over the top of the flour. And then using a fork, I'm going to gently stir together the dry ingredients before I mix it into the base. That way everything will be evenly mixed together. And again, if you're more comfortable mixing the dry ingredients in another bowl, you can go ahead and do that, but I just like to keep it all in one bowl. Keeps it nice and simple and avoids another dirty dish. So now I'm going to go ahead and use my mixer to get everything mixed together here. Then we'll add the oats, cranberries, and white chocolate chips. Just gonna mix everything together here. And I usually like to stop partway through and make sure that there's no flour on the bottom so that everything's getting incorporated together. So I'll go ahead and get this all mixed together, and then we will add the rest of our ingredients. Now we're ready to add the oats. We'll be adding 3 cups of oats. I like to use old-fashioned oats. So 3 cups, all of our white chocolate chips, and a cup of craisins. This is a 6-ounce bag, and it contains 4 1/4 cup servings, so I'm just going to go ahead and add the bag. It's about a cup. So I'm going to go ahead now and mix all of this together. And I like to start off with my mixer on a nice slow speed so that we don't send the ingredients all around the kitchen. Towards the end, you can increase the speed if you want, depending on your hand mixer. And with a big batch like this, I like to turn it off occasionally and pull in the ingredients to the center here like so we don't overwork the mixer. So I'm going to keep mixing this until it's all mixed in. I don't want to over mix it, so I really want to pay attention to scraping the sides and incorporating all the ingredients together. Okay, that's all mixed together. I'm going to go ahead and use my spatula here to double check that everything's mixed together. And then I will use my cookie scoop here to get scoops of this and put it onto my baking sheet. I'm going to start with 8 of these cookies on a sheet, and we'll be cooking these at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for about 8 minutes. Okay, so I have a scoop just like so, and I put it on the sheet here. Just gonna get more of these. I like to do 3 along each side and 2 in the center so that we have 8 evenly shaped cookies. Here are all 8 of the cookies, and now I'm gonna go ahead and use a spoon to slightly flatten them out. That way they'll cook nice and evenly. So just a little bit of a flattened cookie here. Not too much. I don't want to spread it out or anything. I just want it to cook evenly. And sometimes when they're in a big scoop like this, they don't cook as evenly as I would like. So there they are, ready to go in the oven. I'm going to go ahead and bake these again for 8 to 10 minutes until they're nice and golden brown around the edges. And then we'll take them out, let them cool on the sheet for about a minute, and then transfer them to a cooling rack. My first batch of oatmeal white chocolate cranberry cookies are out of the oven. I've let them rest on the baking sheet here for 1 minute. Now I'm going to go ahead and transfer them to the cooling rack. Here are my cookies on the cooling rack. I'm going to go ahead and let these cool down, and then I'll give them a try. I'm going to continue cooking these on. We'll get them all put on a nice serving tray, and then I'll be able to give these a try. They smell delicious and they look really good. My white chocolate cranberry oatmeal cookies are all baked and cooled. The house smells absolutely delicious and these cookies are really good. I'm going to go ahead and take one right now and sample it. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and try a bite here. This delicious oatmeal cookie has a nice ratio of white chocolate chips and cranberries. And that is a really delicious cookie. I love the oats with the cranberry and white chocolate. I think it's a really nice flavor, and I think this is the perfect cookie to kick off the holiday baking season. And I hope you give them a try. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to you later. Goodbye.